A small boy stood at the edge of a busy sidewalk, holding the only thing he truly loved, a worn-out toy car with faded red paint and a missing wheel. It wasn't worth much to anyone else. But to him, it was everything. And then, he gave it away. No cameras. No audience. Just one quiet moment of kindness that would soon touch millions of hearts across the country. Before we continue, if stories like this move you and remind you that goodness still exists in the world, make sure to subscribe to Kindness Story Hub, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps spread more stories that inspire kindness every day. It was a chilly afternoon in a small American town. The kind of place where people still waved at each other from their porches and kids rode their bikes until sunset. 7-year-old Ethan walked slowly beside his mother, his tiny hand gripping hers while the other held tightly onto his toy car. That car had been with him through everything. Ethan didn't have many toys. His family wasn't struggling, but money was always tight. His mom worked long hours at a diner, and his dad had left years ago. Birthdays were simple. Holidays were modest. But that little red car, that was his treasure. He had named it Speedy. Every night, Ethan would race Speedy across the living room floor, imagining grand adventures. In his mind, Speedy wasn't broken, it was the fastest car in the world. As they walked past a small park, Ethan noticed something unusual. On a bench sat a little boy, around his age, with tear-streaked cheeks and trembling hands. His clothes were worn, and his shoes didn't quite fit. Beside him was an older man, maybe his grandfather, trying to comfort him. Ethan slowed down. "Mom, why is he crying?" he asked softly. His mother glanced over, her eyes filled with quiet understanding. "I'm not sure, honey. Maybe he's having a hard day." Ethan stopped walking. There was something about that boy's face, the sadness, the loneliness, that made Ethan's heart feel heavy. He looked down at Speedy in his hand, then back at the boy. "Can I go talk to him?" Ethan asked. His mom hesitated for a second, then smiled gently. "Of course. I'll be right here." Ethan walked toward the bench, his small sneakers crunching against the gravel. The crying boy looked up, surprised, his tears still fresh. "Hey," Ethan said quietly. "Are you okay?" The boy sniffled and shook his head. "My toy broke," he whispered, holding up a piece of plastic that used to be part of something. "It was my favorite." Ethan looked at the broken toy, then down at Speedy. For a moment, he didn't say anything. That toy car wasn't just a toy. It was his comfort. His escape. His best friend. But then, he saw the boy's eyes again. Without overthinking it, Ethan held out his hand. "You can have mine," he said. The other boy blinked, confused. "Really?" Ethan nodded, placing Speedy into his hands. "Yeah. It's super fast. I call it Speedy." The boy's face changed instantly. The tears stopped. His lips trembled into a small smile. "Thank you," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. Ethan shrugged, trying to act like it wasn't a big deal. But inside, he felt something strange, something warm. His mom watched from a distance, her eyes filling with tears. She hadn't told him to do that. She hadn't even suggested it. He just did it. They walked home quietly after that. Ethan's hand felt lighter without Speedy, but his heart felt full in a way he didn't quite understand. That night, his mom tucked him into bed and kissed his forehead. "I'm really proud of you," she said softly. Ethan looked up at her. "He needed it more than me." Those simple words stayed with her. What Ethan didn't know was that someone had been watching. A woman sitting on a nearby bench had seen the entire moment. She had quietly recorded it on her phone, capturing the pure, unfiltered kindness of a child who didn't even realize how powerful his actions were. That evening, she uploaded the video online with a simple caption. "Today, I saw something beautiful. A boy gave away his only toy to make another child smile. The world needs more of this." She didn't expect much. But by morning, everything had changed. The video had exploded. Thousands of views turned into millions. Comments poured in from across the country, and then from around the world. People couldn't believe what they were seeing. In a time when headlines were often filled with negativity, this one small act of kindness felt like a breath of fresh air. "Who is this kid? His parents raised him right. This made me cry. We need more kids like him." The video spread faster than anyone expected. News outlets picked it up. Social media platforms shared it everywhere. People began calling Ethan the boy with the golden heart. Meanwhile, Ethan was completely unaware. The next day, he sat in his classroom, doodling on a piece of paper, as if nothing had happened. That was, until the school principal walked in. "Ethan," she said with a smile, "can you come with me for a moment?" Confused, Ethan followed her to the office, where his mom was waiting, along with a few unfamiliar faces and a camera crew. "Mom, what's going on?" he asked nervously. His mom knelt down, holding his shoulders gently. "Honey, do you remember what you did at the park yesterday?" Ethan nodded slowly. "Well," she said, smiling through tears, "someone recorded it. And now, the whole world has seen it." Ethan's eyes widened. The whole world. One of the reporters stepped forward. "Ethan, your kindness has inspired millions of people. We just wanted to say thank you." Ethan didn't know what to say. He hadn't done it for attention. He hadn't done it to be praised. He had just seen someone sad, and wanted to help. Over the next few days, something incredible happened. Packages began arriving at Ethan's home. At first, it was just a few small boxes. Then more. And more. Inside were toys. Books. Letters. Children from all over the country had sent him their favorite toys, inspired by his act. One letter read, "Dear Ethan, I saw your video. You gave away your toy, so I'm sending you mine. I hope it makes you smile like you made that boy smile." Another said, "You showed me that sharing matters. Thank you for being kind." Ethan's living room slowly filled with gifts, but what touched his mother the most were the messages. People weren't just sending toys. They were sharing hope. Soon, a local charity reached out with an idea. "What if we turned this into something bigger?" they suggested. Together with Ethan and his mom, they started a toy drive called Speedy's Share, named after the little red car that started it all. The goal was simple: collect toys for children in need. What started as a small community effort quickly grew into something much larger. Schools joined in. Businesses donated. Families contributed. Within weeks, thousands of toys had been collected and distributed to children across the state. All because one little boy chose kindness in a quiet moment. One afternoon, Ethan returned to the same park. He sat on the same bench, looking around. And then, he saw him. The boy from that day. This time, he wasn't crying. He was laughing, running around with Speedy in his hands, pretending it was racing across the grass. When he noticed Ethan, he ran over, smiling wide. "Hey," he said. "Look. It still works." Ethan laughed. "I told you. It's the fastest car in the world." The two boys sat together, talking and playing, as if they had been friends forever. Ethan's mom watched from a distance, her heart full. Because in that moment, it wasn't about the viral video. It wasn't about the attention. It was about something much simpler. One child saw another child in pain, and chose to care. Kindness doesn't need an audience. It doesn't need recognition. Sometimes, it's just a quiet choice, a small moment where you decide to put someone else's happiness before your own. Ethan didn't think he was doing anything special. But his simple act reminded the world of something we often forget. Kindness is powerful. It spreads. It multiplies. It changes lives, not just for the person receiving it, but for everyone who witnesses it. So the next time you see someone having a hard day, the next time you have the chance to help, remember Ethan. Because even the smallest act of kindness can create a ripple big enough to reach the world. And maybe, just maybe, your moment of kindness could be the one that inspires millions. Be kind. Always.